Archangel Michael says, I was sent by God with a word that will change your life. Beloved, I need you to understand what is happening in this moment before a single word of this message is received. Because the context of this word is as important as the content of it. Archangel Michael says, Beloved, I was sent. Not by algorithm. Not by the random intersection of your scroll and a piece of content. I was sent by God. The God who knows your name and knows your address and knows the weight of this specific season, and who decided today that you needed to hear something directly from heaven. He looked at your life and he said, Go. Tell them. And I am here. With a word that did not originate in a human mind or emerge from a creative process. A word that was formed in the throne room of heaven and dispatched to reach the specific person who is listening to this message right now. I know that sounds significant. It is significant. Not because it makes you feel special in a way that elevates you above others. But because it means that what you are about to receive was prepared specifically for you. Calibrated to your situation. Aimed at the specific places in your life that need what only a word from heaven can address. And if there is one thing I want you to do before this message ends, it is to receive it. Not evaluate it from a distance. Not process it intellectually while keeping it at arm's length. Receive it. Let it land in the places it was sent to reach. Because what lands changes things. And the God who sent me wants things to change for you. Tap the like button right now if you believe that God still sends words to specific people in specific moments. Because that is exactly what is happening. And drop a comment below and type sent if you receive this word as something that was dispatched from heaven specifically for your life right now. Just that one word. Sent. Because acknowledging the dispatch is the first act of receiving what was sent. Why God sent this word for your life right now. Beloved, before I deliver what I was sent to say, I want to help you understand why this word was sent now. At this specific moment in your life. Because the timing of divine dispatch is never accidental. And understanding the why behind the timing is going to make the what land with greater weight. There are 7 reasons why God sent this word for your life in this specific season, and I want to name every one of them. Because in the naming you are going to recognize your own situation, and the recognition is going to open your spirit to receive what was prepared for exactly where you are. The first reason God sent this word now is because you are at a crossroads that requires heaven's perspective. Beloved, a crossroads is not just a decision point. It is a moment where the trajectory of the next chapter of your life is being determined. And the challenge with crossroads is that from ground level every direction can look equally uncertain. It takes the perspective of someone who sees from above the intersection to know which road leads where. And that perspective is exactly what God sent me to bring. You have been standing at this crossroads longer than you wanted to. Unsure which way to move. Waiting for something to make the right direction clear. This word is that something. And what it is going to clarify is not just the next step but the reason behind the next step. So that you do not just move forward but move forward with understanding. The second reason God sent this word now is because the enemy has been working against your clarity. Beloved, confusion is one of the enemy's most effective weapons against people who are at turning points in their lives. When someone is at a crossroads and does not know which way to go, the enemy amplifies every uncertainty. He makes every option look equally risky. He whispers that you have already missed the window or that the right choice was the one you did not make months ago. He manufactures a fog that makes forward movement feel irresponsible. And God sent this word now because He is cutting through that fog. Not with a complicated theological argument. With the directness of a father who saw his child paralyzed by manufactured confusion and said, "Enough. I am sending clarity." The third reason is because what God has been preparing is close enough to arrival that you need to be ready. Beloved, there is something that God has been working on for you in the spirit realm. Something that has been in preparation long enough that the preparation is now nearly complete. And it is close enough to its moment of release into the natural realm of your life that you need to be in the right posture to receive it when it arrives. This word was sent to produce that posture. To shift you from the posture of someone who has been waiting for a long time and has gotten used to waiting into the posture of someone who is actively expectant. Eyes open. Hands ready. Spirit prepared. For what is coming. The fourth reason is because your faith has been tested long enough and God is responding. Beloved, I have been watching the test your faith has been in. The length of the waiting. The weight of the silence. The moments when belief cost more than it felt like it was producing. The times when the faith that had felt solid started to feel more like effort than like certainty. And God has seen all of it. Every day of the test. Every moment of the cost. And He is responding to it today. Not by ending every difficult thing immediately, but by sending a word that reminds your faith of what it is anchored to. Because faith that is anchored to a genuine word from God is harder to shake than faith that is anchored to feelings or circumstances. The fifth reason is because there are people in your life who need what this word is going to produce in you. Beloved, the word that lands in your spirit today is not only for you. What it produces in you is going to overflow into the lives of the people around you. The clarity you receive is going to help you give clarity to someone else who is confused. The courage that is activated in you is going to give someone else permission to be courageous. The peace that settles in you is going to create an atmosphere of peace that changes the experience of the people in your immediate environment. God sent this word to you because you are a carrier. And what is deposited in carriers reaches people who would not have received it any other way. The sixth reason is because God saw a specific thing in your spirit that needed to be addressed today. Beloved, God does not send words generically. He sends them in response to what He sees. And what He saw in your spirit today was specific. There is a specific discouragement that has been pressing on you. A specific fear that has been limiting your forward movement. A specific wound that has been affecting the way you relate to people and to purpose and to God Himself. A specific lie that has been accepted as truth long enough to shape the way you make decisions. God saw the specific thing. And He sent a specific word to address it. And before this message ends, that specific thing is going to be named and addressed and replaced by what is true. And the seventh reason God sent this word now is the simplest and the most profound. He loves you. My child, God looked at your life today with the eyes of a father who loves his child. And love that sees a need responds to it. Not because the need was earned. Not because your performance warranted the response. But because love moves toward what it loves. And you are what He loves. Specifically. Persistently. Without condition. And the word He sent today is evidence of that love. He saw where you were. He responded. He dispatched. And the dispatching is itself the message before the message even begins. You are loved. Specifically. And loved people receive specific words. Beloved, right here I want you to drop a comment and tell me the area of your life where you most needed a word from heaven right now. Just one word describing the area. Not a long explanation. One word. Because naming the need is the beginning of receiving the answer. Comment below. The word God sent for your life. Beloved, I am now going to deliver what I was sent to say. 7 specific words from God for the specific life of the specific person who is receiving this message. Not in the order of what sounds most inspiring. In the order of what God said needed to be said first. The first word is what you have been going through was not a sign that God abandoned you. My child, there is a lie that seasons of difficulty produce in the hearts of people who love God. The lie says that if God was truly with you, your circumstances would look different. That the hardship is evidence of divine absence. That the silence is proof that your prayers are going unheard. And that lie has been doing damage in your spirit. Because you have been trying to reconcile the love of God that you believe is real with the difficulty of your circumstances that also feels real. And the reconciliation has not been easy. God says to you today, the difficulty of your circumstances has never been evidence of His absence. It has been evidence of the depth of what He is producing in you. He does not remove difficulty from the lives of the people He loves. He enters the difficulty with them. He was in the fire with the 3 Hebrew boys. He was in the pit with Joseph. He was in the wilderness with David. He was in the storm with the disciples. And He has been in every difficult place you have been in. Not watching from outside it. In it. With you. The difficulty was never abandonment. It was accompaniment. The second word is the thing you stopped believing for is still available. My child, I know what you have put in the category of probably not for me. The dream that the silence made feel foolish to continue holding. The promise that the length of the wait has made feel more like wishful thinking than genuine faith. The hope that you set down carefully because carrying it was costing you too much in a season when you had limited emotional resources. God says today that thing is still available. He did not give it to someone else. He did not retract it. He did not close the door because the waiting stretched past a comfortable length. What He promised is still being worked toward. And the word He sent today is His way of saying start believing for it again. Not naively. With the informed faith of someone who has been through the test and knows that what God said He delivers. Start believing again. The third word is your calling is real and it is not too late. My child, there is a specific calling that has been speaking to you. A sense of purpose that has been present in you for as long as you can remember, even if you have not always had language for it. And the enemy has been working to convince you that you have somehow missed the window for that calling. That you waited too long. That you made choices that disqualified you. That the season in which your calling was supposed to be deployed has already passed and what remains is ordinary life rather than purposeful living. God says today your calling is real and it is not too late. Moses was 80 years old when he stood before Pharaoh. Abraham was 75 when God called him to leave everything and go. Anna was 84 when she saw the fulfillment of what she had been waiting for in the temple. You are not too late. The calling is real. And the season of its fuller expression is not behind you. It is ahead. The fourth word is the relationships that matter most are being covered. My child, you have been carrying people. Specifically. Persistently. In the quiet of your prayers and in the weight of your concern and in the moments when the worry for them surfaces at the least convenient times. God says to you today, the people you have been carrying are in His hands. Not outside of His reach. Not beyond His love. Not forgotten by the God who made them. They are being worked on in the places you cannot see. Their hearts are being reached through channels that are not available to your natural influence. And the prayers you have been praying for them are not going unheard. They are active in the spirit realm. And they are producing something in the lives of the people you love that is going to become visible in a way that is going to take your breath away. Keep praying. Keep believing. Keep holding them before God. Because what God is doing in them is more than what you can see. The fifth word is a financial shift is coming to your life. My child, the financial pressure that has been present in this season is not the permanent reality of your life. It is a chapter. And the chapter is changing. God is releasing provision in this season through channels that have not yet been open. Through opportunities that are forming. Through connections that carry financial dimensions. Through the multiplication of what is already in your hand. Through the favor that is attached to a life that is aligned with His purposes. The season of tight and barely enough is giving way to a season of more than enough. Not immediately necessarily, but consistently. And the shift has already begun in the spirit realm. What you are going to see in the natural realm in the coming weeks and months is the evidence of what was released today in the spirit. The sixth word is your health and your strength are being renewed. My child, the God who sent me is the God who heals. Not just spiritually. Physically. Emotionally. The places in your body and in your mind and in your emotional reserves that have been depleted by the weight of this season are being addressed right now by the healing hand of the God who made every system that needs renewal. Whether it is a physical condition that has been concerning you, an emotional exhaustion that has been draining the energy that purpose requires, a mental pattern that has been producing anxiety where peace should live, or simply the accumulated weariness of a season that asked more of you than you felt equipped to give. God is renewing your strength. Like the eagle that mounts up. Like the runner who runs and does not grow weary. The renewal is happening. And you are going to feel the difference. And the seventh word is I am about to do something in your life that you did not see coming. My child, God has been working in directions you were not watching. Preparing things you did not know to pray for. Arranging encounters you could not have anticipated. Opening doors in places you had not identified as entry points. And the cumulative effect of all of that unseen preparation is about to break through into the visible realm of your life. Not gradually. With a suddenness that is going to make you catch your breath. Because what God has been building in the hidden places does not announce itself slowly. It arrives. And when it arrives, it carries the unmistakable signature of something that did not come from human strategy. It came from heaven. And when it lands, you are going to know. And the knowing is going to produce a faith for the next season that nothing else could have produced. Beloved, I want to pause here and say something directly. This ministry puts hours of prayer behind every word that is released. Every message is brought before God before it is spoken into the world. And the only reason we can keep doing this is because of people who believe that words like this one are worth supporting. If what you received today landed in a real place, I want to invite you to become a partner in making sure the next person receives their word. Scan the QR code on your screen or use the link in the description below. $5 or 10 or 25 or 50 or 100. Whatever is in your heart. And know that your seed is going directly into the work of dispatching more words from heaven to more lives that need them. 7 things this word is activating in your life right now. Beloved Archangel Michael says that the word just delivered is not only information. It is activation. And there are 7 specific things that are being activated in your life right now as you receive it. The first thing being activated is your faith. Beloved, faith grows in response to word. The Bible says faith comes by hearing and hearing by the word of God. And as you have been receiving this word, your faith has been growing. Not through willpower. Through the natural response of a spirit that encounters genuine truth from a genuine God. The faith that was dimmer than it used to be is brighter right now than it was when this message began. And that brightness is not going to fade when the message ends. It is going to carry forward into every challenge that the next season brings. Faith activated. Permanently. The second thing being activated is your expectation. Beloved, expectation is faith with its eyes open. And your expectation of what God is going to do is being raised right now. The ceiling that discouragement or disappointment or the length of the waiting had placed on what you allowed yourself to hope for is being lifted. And what is rising to fill the space that the lowered expectation was occupying is the genuine and substantive expectation of a person who has received a specific word from a specific God and who now has something specific to hold in faith. Expectation activated. Eyes open. The third thing being activated is your voice. Beloved, the word that was sent for your life today is going to produce a testimony. And the testimony is going to need your voice to carry it. Something that has been held back in your voice. A word of faith that you have been reluctant to speak because speaking it made it feel more vulnerable to disappointment. A declaration of what you believe that you have been keeping private because the gap between the declaration and the visible evidence has felt too wide to speak across. That holding back is releasing right now. Your voice is being activated. And what it is going to speak in the coming days is going to carry more weight than what it has been speaking in recent seasons. The fourth thing being activated is your generosity. Beloved, a heart that has received something significant naturally wants to give something back. And the word you received today is producing a desire in you to be generous. Not just financially. Generous with your time. Your presence. Your prayer. Your encouragement. Your testimony. Your resources. Everything that you carry. The generosity that is being activated right now is the generosity of someone who has been reminded of how much they have received and who wants to participate in making sure that what they received reaches more people. That generosity is going to produce a flow in your life that generosity always produces. The fifth thing being activated is your discernment. Beloved, the word that was sent for your life today is increasing your ability to distinguish between what is from God and what is not. Between what is genuinely aligned with your calling and what is a distraction from it. Between the voices that lead toward life and the voices that lead away from it. Between the open doors that God is pointing toward and the open doors that look appealing but lead somewhere you were not designed to go. Discernment activated. Seeing more clearly. The sixth thing being activated is your courage. Beloved, the word that landed in your spirit today is producing a courage that was not fully present before you received it. Not the courage of someone who has no fear. The courage of someone who has a word from God that is bigger than the fear. The courage to take the step that has been waiting for this activation. The courage to say yes to what you have been approaching and retreating from. The courage to speak what needs to be spoken. The courage to move in the direction God has been pointing even before all the details are clear. Courage activated. Steps ready. And the seventh thing being activated is your joy. Beloved, genuine joy is one of the most powerful things a human being can carry. And it is one of the first casualties of the seasons that ask too much for too long. The joy that was present before this season of testing is being restored right now. Not the surface-level happiness that depends on circumstances. The deep settled joy that comes from knowing who God is and what He has said and what He is doing. The joy that makes you the most resilient person in every room you enter. The joy of the Lord that is your strength. That joy is being activated right now. In your spirit. Rising up through every layer of difficulty that has been trying to suppress it. Joy activated. Rising. 7 declarations to seal what was sent. Beloved, I want to close this message by speaking 7 declarations directly over your life. These declarations seal what the Word activated. They take what was received internally and establish it externally. Speak them with me in your spirit or out loud as you receive them. Declaration 1. I declare that the word sent from heaven for my life today has landed. It did not float past me. It did not bounce off a closed heart. It landed in the specific places it was sent to reach. And what lands in a ready heart produces what it was sent to produce. Beginning now. Declaration 2. I declare that my faith is stronger right now than when this message began. The testing has not defeated it. The silence has not erased it. The waiting has not worn it down to nothing. It is here. It is real. And it has been strengthened by the word it just received. My faith is standing. And it is not backing down. Declaration 3. I declare that the thing I stopped believing for is back in my faith. I am holding it again. Not desperately. With the quiet confidence of someone who received a word today that told them it is still available. I believe it. I receive it. And I am holding it in faith until it manifests in my natural life. Declaration 4. I declare that my calling is real and the season of its fuller expression is ahead of me, not behind me. I am not too late. I have not missed the window. What God wrote over my life before I was born is still active and still being worked toward. And I am walking toward it from today forward with intentionality and with the courage that this word activated. Declaration 5. I declare that provision is flowing toward my life right now through channels I have not yet seen. The financial pressure of this season is giving way to the financial shift that God has decreed. And I am receiving the provision with open hands and a grateful heart and the commitment to steward it with the faithfulness that the next level of blessing requires. Declaration 6. I declare that my health and my strength are being renewed. Every depleted place is being filled. Every weary place is being rested. Every broken place is being healed. The renewal that God released in this word is flowing through every system of my life that needed it. And I am rising with the renewed strength of someone who has received directly from the source of all strength. Declaration 7. I declare that something unexpected and beautiful is coming to my life. Something God has been building in the hidden places. Something I did not see coming because it was being prepared in the direction I was not watching. It is on its way. It carries the signature of heaven. And when it arrives, I am going to receive it with open hands and a grateful heart, and the declaration that this God I serve is faithful. More faithful than I had words for. More specific than I had dared to believe. And more present in the details of my life than I knew how to see. The word was sent. The word landed. And the life it was sent to change is changing. Beginning now. Today. From this moment forward. God bless you, beloved. Until next time. The closing word from Archangel Michael. Beloved, as we close, I want to release a final word over everything that was just declared over your life. I was sent by God to deliver this word. And I am now sent to seal it. What was spoken over your life today was not empty. It was not wishful. It was not the product of human optimism dressed in spiritual language. It was a word from the throne room of heaven, dispatched to a specific person at a specific moment for a specific purpose. And what God sends, He backs. Every word I spoke today has the full weight of the God who sent it behind it. And that God does not send what He is not committed to fulfilling. Go from this message today as someone who has been spoken to by heaven. Because you have. And go carrying what was sent. Not holding it lightly. Not setting it down the moment the first challenge arrives after this message ends. Carry it. Return to it. Declare it out loud in the moments when the circumstances try to contradict it. Because the word that was sent from heaven is more reliable than any circumstance. And the circumstances will eventually align with the word. Because that is what happens when God speaks. Things change. Not because you are powerful. Because He is. And He spoke today. Into your specific life. For your specific season. With His specific love. And what He spoke is going to produce exactly what He sent it to produce. God bless you, beloved. Until next time. And before you go, would you seal this word with a seed? $5 or 10 or 25 or 50 or 100. Whatever is in your hand right now. Scan the QR code on your screen or use the link in the description below. And as you give, declare out loud, the word was sent for me. It landed. And I am receiving everything it was sent to produce. God bless you, beloved. Until next time. 7 moments in Scripture when God sent a specific word that changed everything. Beloved, I want to show you 7 moments in the Bible when God sent a specific word to a specific person and that word changed the entire trajectory of their life. Because when you see how consistently God has done this throughout history, your faith for what the word sent for you today is going to do in your life will stand on a foundation that is completely solid. The first moment is when God sent a word to Abram. Abram was 75 years old and living in Haran when God sent a word that changed everything. The word was, leave your country, your people, and your father's household and go to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation and I will bless you. That word sent a 75-year-old man away from everything familiar toward everything God had prepared. And from that moment the entire trajectory of human history turned. Because Abram became Abraham. And from Abraham came Isaac. And from Isaac came Jacob. And from Jacob came the 12 tribes. And from the 12 tribes came the nation through which the Messiah entered the world. One word sent by God to one person at one specific moment changed the entire course of human history. Do not underestimate what the word sent for your life today is capable of producing. The second moment is when God sent a word to Moses at the burning bush. Moses had been in the wilderness for 40 years. He had tried to fulfill his calling in his own strength at 40 years old, and it had ended in disaster and exile. And now he was 80, tending sheep, with no visible sign that the dream he had carried into the wilderness had survived the wilderness. And then God sent a word through a burning bush. I have heard my people crying. I have seen their suffering. I have come down to rescue them. And I am sending you. That word to an 80-year-old shepherd became the word that led an entire nation out of slavery and into the promised land. The word that found Moses in the wilderness when he thought the calling was dead was the word that activated the greatest assignment of his life. The word sent for your life today is finding you wherever your own wilderness is. And what it activates is going to be proportional to how long the preparation took. The third moment is when God sent a word to Gideon. The angel of the Lord came and sat under the oak tree in Ophrah and spoke to Gideon, who was hiding in a winepress. The Lord is with you, mighty warrior. Gideon responded with confusion and argument and evidence for why the word could not possibly be accurate. But the word was not withdrawn. It was repeated. Go in the strength you have and save Israel out of Midian's hand. Am I not sending you? The word was sent. Gideon was who it said he was even before Gideon believed it. And the man who called himself the weakest member of the weakest clan became the leader who delivered Israel with 300 men and jars and torches. Because God sent a word that named what was in Gideon before Gideon could see it for himself. The word sent for you today is naming what is in you before you can see it for yourself. And what God names He develops. And what He develops He deploys. The fourth moment is when God sent a word to Elisha through Elijah. Elisha was plowing with 12 yoke of oxen when Elijah walked by and threw his cloak over him. That was the word. No audible speech. Just a physical act that carried the full weight of divine commission. And Elisha understood it completely. He left the oxen. He ran after Elijah. He asked only to say goodbye to his parents. And then he slaughtered the oxen and burned the plowing equipment and served Elijah. Because the word sent through an unexpected action from an unexpected source changed everything he was doing with his life. The word sent for your life today may arrive through unexpected means. But when a word from God lands, it is unmistakable. And what you do in response to it is what determines the next chapter of your story. The fifth moment is when God sent a word to Mary. The angel Gabriel was sent from God to a town in Galilee named Nazareth to a virgin pledged to be married to a man named Joseph. And the word was, you will conceive and give birth to a son, and you are to call him Jesus. He will be great and will be called the Son of the Most High. Mary's response was, I am the Lord's servant. May your word to me be fulfilled. That yes in response to a word that defied everything natural reason could accept became the yes through which salvation entered the world. The word sent for your life today may also be asking for a yes that requires faith beyond what natural reason can support. And the yes that meets that word is the yes through which the next significant thing enters your story. The sixth moment is when God sent a word to Paul on the road to Damascus. Paul was on his way to arrest believers when a light from heaven flashed and a voice spoke. Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me? And in that moment the person who was the greatest threat to the early church became its greatest advocate. The word sent in that encounter was a word of confrontation that became a word of commission. Go into the city and you will be told what you must do. The word that stopped Paul in his tracks became the word that sent him on the most significant missionary journey in the history of the church. A word sent by God can redirect even the most determined person in the most committed wrong direction and set them on the path that produces the greatest possible impact. The word sent for your life today has that same power. Wherever you have been going, the word is redirecting you toward where you were always meant to go. And the seventh moment is when God sent a word to John on the island of Patmos. John was exiled. Alone. Cut off from the communities he had helped build. On an island because of what he believed. And in that isolation God sent a word so significant and so extensive that it became the final book of the Bible. The Revelation. The prophetic unveiling of the end of all things. Sent to a person in isolation. On an island. With no visible ministry and no obvious platform and no natural reason to believe that what was spoken to him there was going to be heard by anyone beyond the shore of that island. The word sent in the isolation became the word that has been read by more people than almost any other text in human history. Never minimize where you are when a word from God arrives. The isolation is often the condition that makes the reception most complete. And the word received in isolation often reaches the furthest when it is released. Beloved, the pattern is unmistakable. God sends specific words to specific people at specific moments. He has always done it. He will always do it. And He did it today for you. The word sent for your life through this message is as real as every word I just described. And what it is going to produce in your life is going to become part of the ongoing testimony of a God who sends words and backs them and fulfills them and changes lives through them. Your life is being changed right now. Because the word was sent. And the word landed. God bless you, beloved. Until next time.